Hey everybody! We're getting ready to start our summer reading book, Lord of the Flies by William Golding. If you have accessed any of the pre-reading videos, then you've already learned a little bit about the author and how he came up with the idea for this book, and a tiny bit about what it's going to deal with. So as you might already know, the boys crash land in an airplane on a deserted island, and they have to survive in the wilderness. So what do you think it takes to survive in the wilderness? What do you think you would have to consider and deal with first in order to survive? So as we're thinking about that, I'm going to show you a few pictures of a camping trip that I went on this summer. This is our dog, Ellie Mae. She's my daughter's dog, and you can see that she is relaxing on a nice, comfy pad. The boys in our book will have no such creature comforts, unfortunately. Let's move on. All right, here's our picture. That's me, my daughter, the dog, and Miss Sentfer. We went backpacking on the Bartram Trail in northern Georgia. Before we decided to go on this trip, and it was only one night, we had to think ahead of time what we would need in order to be okay, even for 24 hours. And we had to pack it all in on our backs. So we did have to think about quite a few things. Unfortunately, the boys in our book have no such prior warning, so they're just caught on this deserted island with just what they happen to have in the plane and what they find on the island. So it is definitely a survival situation for them. All right, here's a couple more pictures from us. This is me. I am filtering a water. That is a little pump that's screwed onto a water bottle, and you see a hose going into the water. There's a little waterfall behind me, so we can have fresh water because we could not literally pack in enough water so that we wouldn't get thirsty over 24 hours. Plus, we needed the water to cook some of our food. We had MRE type food that we cooked in a little stove, and we needed water for that, purified water. You can see here that we've created a little campfire. We didn't really need the fire because it was pretty hot, to be honest, but it was nice to have. It was comforting and cozy to have. We even got to bring some a lighter and some fire starter with us to help get that fire going because all the wood was wet. It had been raining. So if we had crash landed like these boys did, it would have been a lot harder to make fire. You can see in the back there that is Miss Sentfer's hammock. She slept in a hammock instead of a tent, but she did have a bug net on it and a tarp. So we needed to think about our fresh water, food, and shelter before heading out on this trip. All right, here's my last picture for you. That's Miss Sentfer in her hammock, ready for the night, turning in. Franklin Roosevelt once said that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. What do you think that this means in a survival situation? What do you think that fear might cause people to do or not do? Think about the boys crash landing on this island. What might they be afraid of? So on this trip, I was mostly afraid of bears. I had a bell attached to the back of my backpack. Miss Sentfer kept calling me Tinkerbell because she could always hear where I was. So that was my big fear until at night, whenever we were all in bed ready to go to sleep, all of a sudden we saw a very tall person. I'm not sure if it was a man or a woman, but a very tall person wearing a headlamp walking down the trail in the middle of the night. And we were all so quiet and still except for Ellie Mae, our dog, who gave a low growl as a warning, keep on moving. So be thinking about some of these issues as you begin to read Lord of the Flies and try to put yourself and think about what would it be like to be in these boys' position. See you soon.